The Sufi Message of Hazrat Inayat Khan, Volume 2, The Mysticism of Sound, Centennial Edition. Sama. Dervishes are those among Sufis who adopt a certain method of progressing through the spiritual path, and who try to live a life as much away from the midst of the world as possible. Dervishes are called fakirs, and are most powerful in their power of wonder-working and in the power of insight. They are dreamers and lovers of God. They worship God in nature, especially in human nature. Among the many ways of spiritual development, they have one way which is called sama, which is listening to music. They listen to music in an assembly of initiates. No non-initiate is allowed to enter their assembly. They address one another, saying, "O King of Kings, O Sovereign of all sovereigns," and are mostly clad with robes of patches or in rags. They never think of tomorrow. Their thought is only for that moment, to quench the thirst of the moment and to satisfy the hunger of the time. The case of tomorrow they leave to the morrow. It is with just now that they are concerned, if they are at all concerned with life. They are the ones who are really entitled to enjoy the beauty of music, whose spirit and soul are respondents with open centers, who make themselves as a medium of resonance of the music they hear. Therefore, music touches them differently from any other person. Music touches the depths of their being. Moved by music, they manifest different conditions termed by Sufis hal, which means condition. Anyone among them who is moved by spirit may manifest the ecstasy, which is called wajd, in the form of tears, sighs, or in dance. It is therefore that those who do not understand the meaning of their dance call them howling dervishes or dancing dervishes. The gold of heaven is dust to the worldly person, and the gold of the earth is as dust to the heavenly person. To either, the gold of the other means nothing but dust. Their coins are not interchangeable. Therefore, the bliss of the dervish is understood by very few. But something that one can learn from this is the theory of the whole process of their spiritual development. By making God their beloved, and by seeing God in the sublimity of nature, they create the presence of God. And as the whole day's affairs in life constitutes joy and pain both, so the life of the dervish is also filled with joy and pain both, in the presence of God. By the help of concentration, poetry, and music, joy and pain both are felt more deeply. Therefore, God becomes living. God's presence is before the dervish in all moods. In the sama, their musical ceremony, when once the dervish's pain had an outlet in some form or other, the condition that follows is that of deeper insight into life. Upon any object or any person that the dervish may cast a glance, it reveals to the dervish's soul its deepest nature, character, and secret, thus making the whole life clear to the dervish's vision in the light of God. Question: what do you mean by joy and pain in the presence of God? Why should there be pain? Answer: if there was no pain, one would not enjoy the experience of joy. It is pain which helps one to experience joy. Everything is distinguished by its opposite. the one who feels pain deeply is more capable of experiencing joy. And personally, if you were to ask me about pain, I would say, if there was no pain, life would be most uninteresting to me, for it is by the pain that the heart is penetrated, and the sensation of pain is a deeper joy. Without pain, the great ones, the great musicians and poets and dreamers and thinkers, would not have reached that stage which they reached and moved the world. If they always had joy, they would not have touched the depth of life. But what is pain? Pain, in the real sense of the word, is the deepest joy. If one has imagination, one can enjoy tragedy more than comedy. The comedy is for the children. Tragedy is for the grown-up. It is by the pain that a person becomes an old soul. A person may be young in age, but deeper in thought. Question. You said yesterday that self-denial, in the right sense of the word, is, I am not, thou art. What is self-denial in the wrong sense of the word? Answer. The right meaning is always one, and wrong meanings are many. And among many wrong meanings, there is one which is mostly understood by numberless people, that self-denial is to deny oneself of the pleasures and happiness that the world can offer. Question. Not thinking on tomorrow, living in the thought of the moment, is also taught by Christ. But can that be an ideal of a nation whose life must be built upon organization? Answer. The path of spiritual attainment is not to be journeyed by nations. Spiritual progress is individual progress. Each of us has our own direction, and therefore, the teaching of Christ also, in this respect, was individualistic. Question. Are the dervishes always in the Chishtiya school? Answer. No, not necessarily. They have their different orders, although Chishtis have a great interest in poetry and music.